Om Vang me manasi pratisthita, mano me vachi pratishtitam, avira virma edhi, vedasya maani stha, shrutam me ma prahasi, anena dhitena horatran samdadhami. Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanmam avatu, tadvaktaram avatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Natvat hota purvo agneya jiyan nakaviyah paro asti svadhavah vishascha yasya atithih bhavasi sayajnena vanavad deva martan. There is none that precedes thee as the priest of the oblation, nor any mightier for sacrifice. O flame, none is supreme over thee in the things of the wisdom. Thou who possessest the self-ordering power of nature, the creature of whom thou becomest the guest, O Godhead, prevails by sacrifice over all that belong to the mortality. So Agni is the strongest, the most powerful, the greatest Lord of the self-ordering power of nature. He can manage nature. Now, in the post-Vedic period, we don't find anymore that power which can order nature. We can find the power to get out of nature, but we don't find the power which can order and change nature. Yeah? Because the Agni as that transformative agent or the center loses its importance. The fire becomes only a decoration of some kind. It's no more there. Nobody kindles the fire within himself to change his own nature. So and he is also none is supreme over thee in the things of wisdom. That means wisdom is that consciousness which knows how to deal with reality, embodied reality. That is wisdom. He knows how to manage the embodied state of being. And the creature of whom he becomes the guest, he prevails by the sacrifice, by his transformation over everything what belongs to the mortality. So he brings the immortal elements into his life and prevails over mortality. This we went through, I think. Okay, number 6. Vayam Agne Vanuyama Tuvota Vasuyavo Havisha Buddhyamana Vayam Samarye Vidatheshu Ahnam Vayam Raya Sahasasputra Martan. May we, O flame, fostered by thee and awakened, seekers of the substance, prevail by the offering. We in the great struggle, we in the comings of knowledge in our days, we by the felicity, O Son of Force, overcome all that are mortal. Again, mortals. There is a footnote in our days, or the periods of light visiting the soul. These are the days in the Veda. And the rest are some kind of twilights or nights, where the consciousness is not, a higher consciousness is not visiting our souls. When the higher consciousness is visiting our souls, these are the days. The rest are the nights. So we, the seekers, are after your treasures, awakened by the offering to the higher powers, or Agni, should prevail, supported by you. We in this battle for the days of knowledge, in these sacrificial gatherings, we, O Son of Force, by the power of that spiritual treasure, should overcome all that are mortal. Yeah, if you go word by word, Vayam, we, or Agni, Agne, Vanuyama, may we prevail or win. Tuota, supported by you, Tva Ota. Tva Uta, we are supported by you. So supported by you, may we win, O Agni. Vasuyavah, seeking the Vasu, seeking that the luminous dweller within the substance. That's the Sri Aurobindo's translation of Vasu. From root vas, to dwell, vasati, lives, and vas, to shine. From here, usha, the dawn. So shining and dwelling, the luminous dweller, he calls it, within the substance. We who seek the illumination of our substance, seekers of the substance. That's how he translates it. Of the spiritualized substance. We are seeking the transformation of our nature. Havisha buddhyamana.
Is the substance also the human body, or is it not substance?
It's a body also, yes. Today we spoke about this vision, what is seeing, that the light is traveling from one electron to another electron, and being absorbed is emanated, and this is the connectivity. Yeah? So all the substance has to be illumined by the spiritual light, and that would be what rishis are seeking. They're seeking the embodiment of the divine in nature. Yeah, all the substance is to be illumined. The luminous dweller within the substance. The divine is there, but it has to be found. It has to be bridged to the surface. Brought forward. Havisha buddhyamana.
Other thing. Can I ask another thing?
Yeah.
It says supported by you. Agni is seen as a supporter.
Yes.
He's the priest, the sacrifice, he's also the supporter. What does it really mean, supported by you? I thought he...
Right, to water. This is a Vedic compositor, Tva Uta. From root avatu, we have this avatu mam, yeah? In the Shantipatha. Support or protect or even more, grow from within. When they speak that supported by you means supported by his invasion and growth within ourselves. So supported by you means increased in your presence within us. By the increasing of your presence within us, yes, may we win. So we cannot win anything if he is not there. It is he who is the winner. We are basically the instrument of winning. But he says that may we win, yeah, with your growth within us, or supported by you. Seeking the luminous dweller within the substance. And actually, he is Vasu. His major characteristic is that he is Vasu, Agni. He is the luminous dweller within the substance. So we are seeking him.
And it's kind of a little strange because if you look at the word we, it's so easy to think you yourself in the human body, but actually the one who talks here now is basically nature, which has to be converted. So the we here with Agni is not the human being we.
No, it's also human beings. Yeah.
Wow. If you polarize that human being towards,
Yeah, if you polarize, then yes, then it's not so. It's not polarizing. We is here very general we, but it also includes all the human beings. So there is no contradiction from that mind. Yeah, it's contradiction from the mind which makes contradictions. Yeah? You say we who are different from other we, then there is no question of it here. Yeah, but if there is, then of course.
well, if you count us as higher and lower nature, of course, we see the gradations of humanness in their beingness present. Yeah.
But here he speaks about we who are really seeking the divine manifestation and not those who are not seeking. Yeah? Supported by you or your growth within, we seek the luminous dweller within the substance. And awakened buddhyamanah, we who are awakened avisha by the offering.
Yeah, that is the main thing actually, the awakened part of us.
Yeah, awakened by the offering, by the harvest. We, when we offer, really, then we become awakened by that offering. It's interesting. If we don't offer, we are not awakened. We're still sleeping. But when we are awakened, we definitely or do not know what is first. Maybe first is offering and then awakening. Most probably both, yeah? Or the first.
I thought that the first awakening happened mainly by pain and struggle. So it's kind of a persuasion rather, leads to awakening, and then maybe offering starts when you connect to that who awakened you. Start to know it.
Yeah. Both ways, I guess. Once you awaken, you make an offering, or with awakening, you make an offering, or with the offering, you awaken. Yeah? So it can be all those relations.
Yeah, most probably actually, yeah, true.
But awakening and offering are connected. Vayam samarye, in the great struggle, we in samarye, in this constant, total, how to say, concentrated effort, vidatheshu, in the findings of knowledge, or in the comings of knowledge in our days, ahanam. Of the days, in the findings of knowledge of the days. It's literally, yeah? Sri Aurobindo puts it a little bit different. In the comings of the knowledge in our days. In our times when our soul is visited by the higher consciousness, by a higher light. In those periods, yeah, in the comings of knowledge, in the time of a great struggle, Vayam Raya Sahasasputra Martan. We, by the felicity Vayam Raya, O Sahasasputra, O the son of force, overcome all that are mortal. Martan. Overcome was Vanuyama, the same word. May we win. Win over mortals, or win the mortals, conquer the mortals. The mortal parts in us, the mortals around us, those mortal things which want to die and which want to drag us with them into that death. We want to win over them.
Isn't it when you say mortal, it's the attached part, which is the mortal?
Mortal is anything which has to pass, which has to disappear, which played its role as in the progress in the movement, and now its time is up. It has to be overcome. So we should win over it. We should win those parts. They should not become important or powerful in our life. They should not dominate our soul, the mortal parts. I can feel this language so well. I think there is no better way to say. It's just to the target, to the very core of the target. Yeah, these words. There are no extras. There is no explanation. But if you dwell on it, you will see that it's exactly the thing. Everything which is to die, which is connected with death, which is to dissolve, transform, to be transformed.
It is as if this offering kind of, if you look at offering as a giving up of yourself for the transformation, it is a growing process of growing, and this overcoming
Right.
is rather for me the transformation than the overcoming. But of course, psychologically seen, you have to overcome your attachments or your weaknesses or your inabilities.
Your mortal parts you have to overcome. Those which were not supposed to endure, were not supposed to go into immortal living, into the perfect manifestation of the divine. They are not there. They are not planned to be there. They have to change. And this winning over them is to change them exactly and make them the part of this immortality, to make them, enter into the future, to change them. That's what we are doing here. We are constantly working on our change to prepare mortal parts and make them immortal.
Yeah. I wanted to add that I'm noticing that it seemed, if I recall correctly, this is the first time that in this hymn of using the first person plural or third person plural, uttama, and we, and that to me that's significant because it's invoking the community of the seekers.
Yeah. Siva even thinks that it is.
Sound disappeared. I lost you, Vladimir.
Siv even thinks that it is more than just that.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
That there are even more beings, not only human beings, not only the community of the seekers, but also all those who are embodied, who came to be in this physical frame,
Yeah.
all other
I agree.
creatures.
Yeah.
So it's a call for that evolutionary growth to water, to be supported by you, to be grown when you grow within us. So may we then conquer the mortal parts in nature, those parts which have to be changed into immortal. But I think it is applicable to both, yes. So here it is clear stated that the overcoming of mortality, which is a characteristic of matter, is possible by the treasures of the spirit, which Aurobindo translates as substance and felicity. It is by illumining the substance of mortality, matter, and transforming it into the substance of the spirit, Vasurai Dravinam, that the prevailing over it can be achieved.
The word illumining in Sanskrit, what does it really mean? What is it saying? The word, words for illumining, what does it mean in Sanskrit? The different words for illumining, or is there only one word? The root for illumining, then.
Vayam Raya, Raich. So this is the treasure, by the treasure. So we, by the felicity, overcome all that are mortal.
Yeah,
So,
I was asking about the word illumination in Sanskrit. What would the word be? And what does the Sanskrit word tell you it means?
These are all the words for the light. Vasu is the illumining. Raich is illumining. Even Ahan, the day, is illumining. Here's three words which are illumining. This is Vasu, Raich, and Ahan. That's exactly what felicity is about. Felicity is that light within the substance. And the Vasu is also that very luminous dweller within the substance. Why luminous dweller within the substance? Because it is illumining. So here I give Vasu, Raich. These two words are used there. There's sometimes Dravinam is used, and there are more words. Radhas, Bhati, Bhanu, Jyoti, Dyauh, Diva. And so all these words are used for the bringing light and illumining.
Does it show different ways of bringing the illumining, or?
Yes, there is different faculty, quality in them. So when we spoke about Vasu, it's from root Vas, which has three major meanings. It is to dwell within, to shine, and to wear, to put garments on. So dwelling and wearing is quite clear. When you're dwelling in the house, it's like you're wearing the house, as if you are within and the house is outside, or cloth is outside, you are within. But when you shine, it's also interesting. It's the same kind of vision, but you shine from within. Yes, you are the light within the cover, and so when Isha Upanishad starts, it is using this verb, Isha Vasyam, Idam Sarvam. All this is to be, and it follows, inhabited, illumined, or worn by the Lord. All this, whatever exists in the world, is to be illumined by the world, or dwelled within by the Lord, or worn as a garment of the Lord. All this is to be his garment. He has to be within. Now you can clearly see how vas root hits all three targets in one sentence. Here is very similar. Vasuyu is the one who wants Vasuyavah. So those who are seeking Vasu, seeking the luminous dweller within the substance, seeking the presence of consciousness within nature. The dweller, the the luminous being within the substance, which is making substance illumined. Otherwise, why he should be there? So substance becomes transparent, becomes full of light, and it changes and becomes raich, becomes wealth, like riches. Yeah, riches and wealth are the symbols of this already illumined substance. Gold and diamonds, they are the symbols of spirit dwelling within matter.
So there is different types of light then.
Most probably, yes. Well, they speak about the divine light. Of course, there will be different types of light, yes, and there are many of them, true. There is red beams, there are red flames, there are more white flames, all kinds of flames of different intensity of the spirit. It's like the dawn has many hues. It starts with very dark red, when the darkness is still growing, is still very powerful, and then slowly it becomes more and more rosy, and then it becomes totally golden dawn. So that you will have the whole gradation of light, which tells us something about the relation between consciousness and unillumined substance. Yona ago abhi eno bharati adhit aghasham se dadhata jahi chikitvo abhishastim etam agneyo no marchayati dvayena. Yona ago abhi eno bharati, the expressor of evil, who seeks to bring sin and transgression into us. His own evil do thou return upon his head. Adhit aghasham se dadhata. Slay, O conscious knower, the hostile self-expression. Jahi, kill, literally slay. This hostile self-expression of him who oppresses us with duality.
Actually, yeah, it's interesting, really. He says, his own evil do thou return upon his head. And it came to me, of course. If you do evil, it is out of your ability to see the other side. So when you are returned this evil upon your head, then you are actually put in the other person's or the other side's position. So by this, your position of seeing what is going on is changed for you to receive, so to say, experience the sides enough to come into equilibrium, or a position where you understand that this evil is not to be done.
Yeah. Actually, evildoers, they do not know. They cannot be argued with. They cannot be, given example of good behavior, and they cannot be attracted by any good behavior. They will be always considering this evil, this good doing as weakness. They cannot, but they should be destroyed. They have to meet greater evils. Now, this return upon them their own evil is the easiest way out, because you don't need to do it. They already did it. Now let them have the consequences of it, and that's it. You don't need to participate in it. You don't need to be part of it. But also, you can't really argue with them. You cannot, convince the Rakshasas to be gods. They will not become gods. Whatever you say, you may say to them everything. Read to them the Gita, the Upanishads, the Veda. They will never become gods. They will continue to be Rakshasas. There is only one way: to kill them, to destroy them.
Because they are in the everlasting border of evil.
There is something about it, when you consciously become it, there's something strange about it. You have to beget evil to know what it is, and they don't mind. Actually, they are constantly in that evil. They generate it upon others. They receive it upon themselves, and they think there is nothing but this. I do not know how to transform those creatures.
I was thinking that the divine grows both out of evil and out of good. So in a way, it is a form of growth in this evil. So in that sense, it must have some kind of culmination. And I'm thinking that when extremes in one way come to an end, it flips into its opposite. So in that sense, can be seen as a way, Rakshasas.
Well, when the divine destroys them, then they are liberated. Many times these Rakshasas are turning to be divine beings which were cast into the spell, or upon whom the spell was cast. So they kind of turn to be evil, but inside themselves they are divine. But they are seeking their divinity in this evil way. They want by force to get to the divine. So the divine has to meet with them and destroy them. And then when Krishna killed many of those Rakshasas and Asuras, they come to him as this divine spirit and say, thank you for liberating us from this form.
Well, that is kind of what I'm thinking with flipping. That when it's killed, it flips.
Right, because the divine cannot be killed. What can be killed is this mortal form which can die. The immortal form cannot be destroyed so easily, at least. So, literally, Yona ago abhi eno bharati, who brings bharati, enas, the sin, or transgression, agas, the sin, upon us, naha. Adhid, agham, aghasham se dadhata. And so you establish upon them, upon aghasham se, give to the one who expresses the evil, the agham, the same evil, adhid, upon him. from above. So, Jahi, destroy, Chekitva, the conscious one, Abhishastim, this curse or this evil sin, Etam, of them, Agni or Agni, Yono Marchayati Dvayena, the one who oppresses, who oppresses is a good word, us with duality. Now, duality is that particular feature of evil. It creates double, unclear state of mind, of feeling, of consciousness on every level. So there is always an opposition within. Person is never sure. He is never sure of anything. Yeah? What is good, what is bad, he cannot say. Everything is good or bad according to this person who is double in his perception. Also, this duality creates tension, creates fear, and creates anxiety. So by duality means everything which we should avoid. We have to be one-pointed consciousness, a very simple one, without duality. Okay, my interpretation. One who wants to hurt and bring evil to us, return to him his own offense. Destroy or conscious knower this curse, and the one who oppresses us with duality. There are powers of the first creation who constantly or consciously oppose the process of transformation and therefore their redemption. So these forces which already established their power in the evolutionary process, dark forces, semi-conscious forces, they resist the liberation and redemption. They don't want to become the divine so easily. They already settled within their own framework. They like what they are because they know what it is. They do not know what the divine may be. They possess men, fixing them to their imperfect state of existence and thus prolonging their own. These forces can live through us. These powers belong to the first creation of the fallen spiritual emanations, which man came down to save. I mean men as psychic beings. They do not sacrifice. They do not know what sacrifice is. It is not in their nature. The self-expression is the only thing they know. Everything which is not self-centered and for the sake of self-attainment is opposed by them. To live for others or other aim than oneself is difficult for them. There is a very beautiful story about gods and asuras, and they were at the feast, and what was done was quite interesting, that their hands were tied in such a way that they couldn't reach with the hands to the mouth. The elbows were in the tied in such a way that they couldn't eat. So what happened, that asuras tried to eat at this feast and couldn't eat because they never reached the mouth. But what the gods did, they took that hand which was not bending and fed each other. Each god fed another god sitting next to him, and they could eat and they became stronger. So there's a very interesting symbolism of this. The Asuric powers cannot sacrifice. They cannot give for others. They are only concerned about their self-assertive way of being, self-support. So when they enter the space of the aspirant, the Aryan, who is born to save and work for the divine, and bring their nature into his consciousness, they oppress him with this duality of selfish or self-oriented existence of the Dasyu, creating the duality in him of self-sacrifice and self-preservation. So there will be a double state. We are all now speaking about sustainability. This is actually a very much Asuric idea. We want to sustain something which is not supposed to be sustained. We are thinking about sustaining the nature or the state of consciousness which wants to change. Sustainability in that way does not work. We need to sustain something which is evolving. We have to let that thing change naturally and happily. And we don't want change. We want to fix things and think that by fixing things that it would be better. And it's never better. So we all have in us the two natures. One belongs to the body, vital mind, the dwelling place, as it were, and the other is the soul, the dweller, the psychic being, the spark of Agni within. It is our constant duality. So when the Rishi says oppress us with duality, it might mean exactly this, to bring more actively their own Dasyus considerations into action within the consciousness of man. So to make it more prominent, to make it more valuable, and so on.
Yes, it sounds very. If you think about the duality as a place where the awareness is taking place, it has to be like this, because you have to be aware of two opposites and make your choice. Where do you want to go? You go for yourself and care only for yourself, or do you go for others? If you think, well, my thought was that when you talk about sustainability, I think also sustainability in itself has a duality. There is a sustainability which is for the good also, but there is a other sustainability which is not for the good. And it even might be that fixing something is
Of course, yeah.
necessary.
If you're fighting against global warming, or you're fighting for ecology and for preservation of species, of course it is very positive. I meant as an idea to sustain something which is not meant to be.
Well, even in that context, sometimes our understanding is inadequate. I think 100 years ago in the U.S., they realized they had cut too many forests, so they wanted to sustain and protect forests. And now the forests are overgrown and they've had fires. And of course, things change, and to try to keep something of a mythical past, they realize, well, what are we keeping? Are we keeping the state of 100 years ago or 500 years ago? Or, do we allow for the change that is happening now?
Right, correct. Or when they want to bring back Red Indians and their culture, when first they destroyed it totally, demolished everything what was there, and now they want to revive it. How would you do?
No, they did not destroy everything. I live close. There are 38 Indian nations in the state of Oklahoma. They are still here. They were not destroyed. They were almost destroyed.
Okay, so it can be revived, yeah?
Yeah.
Revival is a good thing. Revival is not sustainability. Sustainability is something very static and yeah. Great.
Would you mind scrolling back? I like to see the glossary there, the definitions.
Sure.
That helps me. No, just, there, the vocabulary. Okay, thank you. I'd make a copy of that.
Twofold nature of falsehood is quite interesting. Dvaya, duality. Okay, tvam asya vyushideva purve dutam krenvana ayajantaha vyaich samstheyad agna iyaserainam devo martaich vasubhich idyamana. Thee, O Godhead, in the dawning of this our night, the ancients made their messenger, and through thee sacrificed by their offerings, because thou art the Godhead that is being kindled by the mortal dwellers in this substance, and thou movest to the meeting place of all felicities. Of this our night, the ancients, Sri Aurobindo says, the ancient seers who discovered the secret wisdom. And there is other footnote to the supreme world of truth and bliss, which refers to meeting place. Samstha. It is like staying together, where all the beings come together, all the creatures live in one place. That means that is the supreme state of the truth. Okay, going word by word, let me read my also interpretation. It is you, O God, that first people chose as their messenger in the dawning of this night, and with their offerings started to transform this life into life divine. O Agni, you have moved towards the completeness of transformation of this substance into the spiritual treasure. For you are the God kindled by the shining dwellers within the material substance, who took on themselves the burden of mortality. You see, I just twisted a bit, made it more like a procedure, not just saying that those who mortal dwellers in the substance, but changed it into the shining dwellers within the material substance who took on themselves the burden of mortality. If we translate the word vyushi as infinitive, as it is used in the Rig Veda, the translation becomes more interesting. To illumine this night, the first people have chosen you to be their messenger. The ancients, the first people. The Rishi does not mention night. He only says this in feminine gender. Literally, in illumining this, he refers to the flow of the meaning from the previous two verses. So what is this in a feminine gender here? Asyaha vyushi, in the illumination of this. So let us look into the previous one. Here there is nothing of the feminine gender. Oh, maybe a tam. A tam. Abhishastim etam. This is the feminine gender. So this curse or this one which is oppressing us, yeah, kill her literally. But her is here Abhishasti, the curse. Asyah Vyushi, clearly of the night, because in the illumination of this, who is this? It's that which can be illumined, and that is the night. Can't be other meaning. It's very difficult to assign any meaning to that which can be illumined. That is the darkness. So in the illumination of the darkness of God, Purve, the first, Krinvana, made you Dutam, the messenger, Ajayanta Havyai, and sacrificed with offerings, those offerings which should be offered. Samsteyat Agna iya Serainam, where in the highest state, Samsthe, or Agni, you move. O Agni, when you move into the state of completeness of these treasures, of these luminous riches, God, Martaich, together with mortals, Vasubhich, dwelling within, luminous dwellers within the substance, and mortals, Idhyamana, is kindled, literally. So, O Agni, you have moved towards the completeness of transformation of this substance into the spiritual treasure, for you are the God kindled, Devach Idhyamanach, by the shining dwellers, Vasubhich, within the material substance, who took on themselves the burden of mortality, Martaich, by the mortal luminous dwellers within the substance. It sounds like this. I think this is mortal luminous dwellers, mortal dwellers within the substance. Actually, it covers both views on our life. Yeah, there is one mortal part and there is one luminous part. Our soul is Vasubhich, and one mortal part is our body, mind, and vital. By all these two elements, he was kindled. He was not kindled only by the soul element. He was kindled also by our nature element, by our mind, by our vital, and our body. Both are participating and moving to the highest state of the mind, to the super mind, most probably, some sthe, meeting place. And Sri Aurobindo gives that footnote, the supreme world of truth and bliss. Okay, we can stop here for today. And then look into it again and continue. There will be some notes here about vasos. I speak about vasos here. What are these 8 vasos with their names and what they really represent? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I will stop with the mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Yeah, no sound.
Yes. Yes.
Yes sound. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, see you. Good night. See you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay.